Hey everybody, this is your inequalities video. Inequalities, let's break that word down for a second. If you take the prefix in, like incorrect, in tells you that it is negating whatever the meaning of the word is, so incorrect means not correct. Okay, so we're going to use the word inequalities. You should also see the word equal in there. So let's think about that for a second. If it's an inequality, we talk about an equation means has an equal sign, so things that are equal. In this case, if it's an inequality, it means things that are not equal. Okay, so let's talk about those. Symbols for things that are not equal, at least some of them. Less than, equal to would be equal. Okay, that wouldn't be an inequality, it would be an equation. Or greater than. So make sure you have those labeled. And then let's show you what an inequality looks like. This says 5 less than n. So it means n could be any number that isn't less than 5. So what are we saying? N has to be numbers that are greater than 5. So take a second and list 5 numbers that n could possibly be. So yours don't necessarily have to be mine, but just look at mine, make sure you agree. 5.001, we could have a million zeros and then just a number at the end tells us that's a little bit bigger than this 5. 10 is bigger than 5. 20 over 2, what's 20 divided by 2? It's 10. So 10 is still bigger than 5. 400 is bigger than 5. 52 is bigger than 5. As long as your numbers are bigger than 5. Hopefully they're not boring. Look at your second inequality. Z is greater than 3.4. So we need numbers that are greater than 3.4. So stop the tape and give me 5 numbers greater than 3.4. Okay, here's mine. Is 3.5 greater than 3.4? Sure it is. 4 is greater than 3.4. 30 is greater than 3.4. How about this? 20 over 5 equals what? 20 divided by 5? Is 4, is that greater than this? Sure it is. How about a million? Duh, right? Of course it's bigger. So remember, inequalities because they're not equal. Either greater than or less than. All right, on to your next slide of notes. You have a couple more symbols that you need to understand. So this is greater than or equal to. So you have a greater than sign, but you have the line underneath like an equal sign. So it can be, the number can be greater or it can be equal. That's very important. Then you have another one, which would be the opposite, okay, less than or equal to. And we're going to use those. Okay, so your first line of work here says determine whether y equals 12, so we're saying the variable y is 12, makes each inequality true. Okay, the y is showing your work, obviously. So let's take, for the first one, go ahead and substitute 12 in for y. And if you do that, whoops, if you do that, it should look like what you see here in the red. Okay, add 18 and 12 and write it down. And I come out with 30 is greater than or equal to 30. So I'm going to tell you that that's true. Why is it true? 30, the line underneath says equal to, 30 is equal to 30. Could it be 31 if you found your answer to be 31 or 35 or a million? Yes. Is 30 greater than or equal to 30? It's equal to, so this one is true. So stop the tape and I want you to try these next two and then check back in with me. So for number 2, if I substitute 12 in for the y, remember there's smush, so it's multiplication. 5 times 12 is 60. 60 minus 6, 54. Is 54 less than or equal to 55? It is less than. So yes, this one is also true. If you haven't done it yet, stop the tape and do number 3. Okay, so we substitute here. We put the 12 in for the y. So it's 12 over 2. 12 over 2 is division. That's a fraction's division. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Is 6 less than or equal to 4? It is not. So in this case, we're saying putting 12 in there would be false. Okay, if we look at the bottom, it says write an inequality for each problem situation. Okay, so the temperature every day for a week was below 32 degrees. So we have to say somehow the temperature is less than 32. So write down what you think, how you think you'd write temperature is less than 32. So you can write T is less than 32 in this direction, or you could say the other way, you flip it around, 32 is greater than T, saying that whatever the temperature is, 32 is larger than. Temperature could be 6, temperature could be 0, -5, which those, by the way, are all integers. Try number 5. Evan has more than 10 brain cells. So how are you going to show that? Okay, I'm going to write E, it's capital because it's a person's name, and greater than 10. So he has greater than 10 brain cells. He could have 11 brain cells. He could have 422 brain cells. Or you could say 10 is less than however many brain cells Evan has. Okay, and the last part of your inequalities is to graph them. Don't pay attention to my weird lines here that just showed up. This is saying x is greater than 6. Sorry, x is greater than -6. So what we want to do is we want to put whatever we're going to graph, we want to put that in the middle here. So here's our -6. So that's listed for you already. And then we're going to put a circle where that -6 is. And then what direction does the -6 go? Well, let's fill in the rest. So you have that on yours. What direction are we going to show x being greater than -6? So what I'm saying is, what numbers on this number line show me, what direction would show me numbers that are greater than -6? If I went to the left, these numbers are getting smaller or colder than -6. So if I go to the right, these numbers are getting greater. So that's where our arrow goes. So that's how you graph it. Now you see my line I drew here that I didn't have coming on the PowerPoint very well. Some kids like this. They know, some kids realize that if you can create this greater than into an arrow, it shows you where your graphing arrow goes. So if that works for you, that's fine by me. So this arrow shows you where the arrow on the graph goes. So try the second one. Stop the tape and try graphing the second one. Okay, so I'm gonna label my 12, and I'm gonna put a circle on the 12. My other numbers are labeled. So it says y is less than 12. So which direction is showing y is less than 12? If I look here, the 11, the 10, the 9, these numbers are all less than 12. So I'm going to graph it by showing every number to the left of 12 is less than it. And again, you can use this line if you wish. Okay, now what's the difference with your next one? This says x is greater than or equal to 20. So greater than or equal to. So watch what's going to be different here. So we put whatever we're graphing in the middle, just the same. But instead of having a circle like I had here, I have a filled in circle. So we're going to talk about that after we graph it. So here's my numbers to the left and my numbers to the right. This says x is greater than or equal to 20. So which numbers, which direction are showing numbers that are greater than 20? It's numbers to the right. These numbers are greater. If you want to draw that arrow in there, go for it. But here's your graphing arrow like so. Why is this circle filled in? It's filled in because could we say that x could be 20 and numbers that are greater than 20? Yes, because it's equal to. So are we counting 20 here? We are. Up here, this was an open circle. Are we saying this is x is greater than -6? Are we counting -6? No, it's got to be greater than -6. So because it's an open circle, that tells us that we're not counting -6, we're counting everything to the right of it. Are we counting the 20 here? Yes, we're counting the 20. That's why it's filled in. We're counting 20 and everything to the right. So be careful with the difference. If you don't have the equal sign underneath, it's an open circle. If you do have the equal sign, it's a closed circle. All right, stop the tape, try the last one on your own. So we label our -4, and we put our closed circle in there because there's an equal to sign. This says K is less than or equal to -4. Less than or equal to -4. So which way are less than? To the left are less than. Do the arrow if you want. And there's your graph. Closed circle because could it possibly be -4? Yes, it could. You can flip to the back and do those problems on the back for homework.